Welcome to Winchester Now. I'm Mary Blacksland. On our show, the Winchester charity bringing joy to those struggling at Christmas. And we're out with Santa as he tours our city.
Winchester Radio.
Don't be lonely this Christmas. That's the message from the Salvation Army in Winchester, which is offering lunch and companionship to those facing Christmas Day alone. The charity is also delivering food parcels to those in need, and following its annual toy appeal, will be giving gifts to around 150 children who might otherwise have missed out. I've been talking to church leader Josh Herbert.
Every year, for the last couple decades at least, we've been providing toys for families that wouldn't struggle to make ends meet, essentially. And so that there is definitely something under the tree for them. And we make sure that the entire family has something so that they know that they are valued and they are loved. And we can only do this through the support with the community and then donations of new and unwrapped presents from everyone in the community, as well as other organisations and things like that. So we can only really support our community through the community helping us in that way, which is quite nice.
Winchester has a bit of a reputation of being an affluent area. Some people might be surprised that there's 150 children needing a present this year.
Absolutely, and that's 150 through that we support. There are many other appeals that have similar numbers. Winchester, yes, very affluent city in many parts. However, there is a lot of pockets of hidden poverty within the city, which we can all somewhat miss if we're not looking for it. And there are many people who struggle in the city and sometimes are scared to say that they're struggling. And it's great that ourselves and some of our other community partners are able to support those who are struggling, because there are definitely people in this city who are.
And Christmas can be quite a hard time for people. People can feel quite lonely, quite isolated. And you're doing things to help them as well, aren't you?
Throughout December, we've been running some community events, one of which is going to be our Christmas Day meal, where people who could be spending the day alone can come together with other people and spend the day with friends that they may know or meet new friends and just spend a bit of time having lunch with people. And so for a little bit of time on that day can not be alone and just know that there are other people out there that they can talk to and be with.
And it must be nice for you to be able to do that in person this year. I think previous years, the last few years with COVID, you've had to just do it as deliveries, so it's going to be extra special, isn't it, this year?
It's going to be nice to actually see people on the day. It's great that we've been able to do the deliveries the last few years and help make something of Christmas for people around the city, so that they can know that people remember them still on Christmas Day, even though they may not be alone. And yeah, there are some people which we're supporting through deliveries again this year, but then it's great that we're going to be able to be open for the few people who we can have with us on Christmas Day.
And how do people find out if there is someone out there who is feeling like they're going to be lonely this Christmas? How do they find out about coming along?
Probably the easiest way is to give us a phone call on 01962 854 239. That's 01962 854 239. Give us a ring. Say that you may be on your own for Christmas and you'd like to be part of our Christmas Day meal. We will give you a phone back if you get our answer phone message, and we'll get you booked on for that, and it'd be great to see you if that is the way that you are feeling. It's lovely that we're able to be around and support people and let them know at the time of year where we all can focus on like joy and goodwill and all of this stuff, that actually we can do little things to show other people that they are loved and they are valued.
People might see you out and about in Winchester over the coming weekends as well, collecting towards this event.
Every Saturday between now and Christmas, our band will be out on the high street at various points playing carols. If you see us and you've got a favourite carol, do just ask for it. It would be great to see you. And yeah, all the money that we collect through that will be given and used to support our work at Christmas time, but also throughout the year to support our community the best way we can.
That's Salvation Army leader Josh Herbert. And staying on food, have you heard of Barney's Kitchen? It's a new initiative every Thursday evening, providing a hot meal for free. It's been set up at St Barnabas Church in Weeke in response to the rising cost of living. Here's organiser Lucy Dines.
Well, we wanted to do something to help the local community. Now it's getting so cold, we're all aware of how hard it's getting to get by. And we're blessed with a huge building, we've got space, and we had volunteers who wanted to do something. So we thought, well, let's try maybe just tea and coffee and opening our doors to people. But we've had lots of offers of food and offers to help cook. So we thought, right, we'll go for it and try and offer a free meal to people.
And what sort of response have you had so far?
Well, we know that the need is there because we've spoken to people at the surgery and the schools. We've had 3 families last week. We've only started last week, and this week we're expecting 3 as well. So we hope as the word gets around that there's no strings attached, everybody's welcome, no questions are asked about anything, that people will feel able to come if they need to, or if they want to. We'd love to see anyone.
Because it must be tough for some families who just seeing the bills going up and up and up. What have you experienced here?
Yeah, a few people have spoken about how worried they are. When we watch the news, everybody's nervous about what will happen next and whether we're going to manage as if maybe the bills go up further. I think we just have to try and pull together and help each other as much as we can. And we've seen from the donations that come, we've had more food than we can give away. It's been amazing how much people have given. So we know that we can help each other. We just need to pull together.
Yes, where is that food coming from? Where are your supplies coming from yourself?
At the moment, different people have donated from the community. A really lovely gentleman popped by last week and handed me an envelope. He said he'd seen the sign outside and he wanted to help people who maybe needed it more than him. And when we opened the envelope, it almost exactly matched our bill for the week. So we feel like we're so blessed by people in our community. We've also had offers of food from the training catering corps. I'm not sure if I got the right words there. The Army and the Navy catering corps, I think it is, where they're training chefs. They don't want to waste the food that they're learning to cook with, but at the moment it's very tricky because of the legal side of things, so that might be a future blessing for us.
And the Basics Bank are helping out as well?
Oh yes, so they meet in the morning, Thursday mornings, and they have fresh produce which they can't always get rid of in time, so we've been giving lettuces, cabbages, lots of fruit. We've got bread this week to give away, so yes, we've got lots coming in.
And how difficult is it for you as a church as well? Because you're going to have to put the heating on, you're going to have to pay for the gas to cook this food. How do you survive?
We do a lot of praying, and I think God does bless us. As we said, there was a money from the dear gentleman that came in. Also, we know there's grants available, so we're thinking of trying to apply for a grant to heat the room. That's our biggest problem because it's an old building and we don't think there's any insulation. But we do also have other events happening either side of the room, so we're hoping that the heating from those events is helping us there.
And how long do you think you'll keep this going for? How long will Barney's Kitchen be open?
Oh, we definitely want to keep going while the weather's bad, so obviously into the spring. I don't know if the need will continue. It would be lovely if nobody needs or wants to come out for a meal, but we'll try and keep going as long as we're needed.
To find out more, visit the St Barnabas Church website, where there's an email or phone number to book your place. Now, with news from around Winchester this week, here's Ron.
Hampshire fire and rescue teams have been helping their colleagues in Jersey following the tragic explosion at a block of flats in the capital, St Helier. Search teams went over to the island shortly after the incident last Saturday, which claimed a number of lives. Investigations into the explosion are continuing. A week of disruption is taking place on rail services in and out of Winchester, with strike action by the RMT union continuing until Saturday. South Western Railways says a severely reduced service is running, with some of the network completely shut. The company is urging people to travel only if absolutely necessary. It's affecting many people, especially students trying to make their way home for the Christmas break and tourists heading into Winchester to visit the city at Christmas. And it comes as postal workers continue to stage action in their dispute over pay. Meanwhile, police are urging drivers to remain vigilant with freezing weather continuing. Hampshire County Council says its greeting teams are working 24/7 to clear major routes as temperatures have fallen to as low as -5. The conditions are also having an effect on local sports teams. Winchester City's cup match against Bashley on Monday night was postponed because of a frozen pitch.
Winchester Radio.
Now, Winchester's Theatre Royal is hoping this year's panto will provide a bit of wizardry. Play to the Crowd, the charity that runs the theatre and hat fair, is facing cuts to its funding. And it comes after 2 years of uncertainty with COVID. But it's hoped audiences will not only help business, but enjoy some Christmas magic too. Anna spoke to Chief Executive Deryck Newland.
Oh, well, we're doing The Wizard of Oz this year, which is, if you know it, a lovely story in its own right. We make the most of that, and I hope that those people that see the panto this year will really enjoy not only all the panto stuff, but the fact that it's quite an emotional story about friendship, actually.
It's probably a bit mean to put you on the spot because listeners will know the story of The Wizard of Oz and it's a real heart warmer. Have you got any favourite scenes or moments in this year's panto?
Well, I must admit, the group hug between Dorothy and her three friends, and it happens a couple of times, is really quite moving because although they're, in some ways kind of surreal characters, the actors that play them really embed them with humanity. And, I love the actress that's playing Dorothy. This is her first professional contract, and she is super and so authentic and believable.
And it's lovely that you say one of your favourite scenes is the hug, because of course during COVID, obviously that affected the theatres and you were closed and you couldn't do things. It must be amazing for you because the theatre is thriving. This production, which I know is running through until the 2nd of January, loads of people already booking tickets.
Absolutely, and as everybody knows, the whole business model of a theatre is a lot of people in a small room, in effect. So it's really fantastic that people want to re-engage and are excited about being together again. And yes, panto is selling really well, so if you did intend to come, please book your tickets now before you're disappointed.
And I think the other thing for us, because as you know, Winchester Radio broadcasts to the patients in the hospital, there may be some of our listeners who are poorly, whether they're on the wards or they're at home and they can't physically get here, but you are also providing the opportunity for people to book tickets so they can still take part.
Yes, you can watch a live streamed performance, and those tickets are also available to buy on the website, and then you'll get a code and you can log on and watch it from the comfort of your own bed or your own living room.
And finally, for you, there are amazing things that the Theatre Royal in Winchester does. There's lots of community outreach work, but focusing on the Christmas season and panto, what is the best thing about panto for you?
Well, the vision of our charity, Play to the Crowd, is to delight and unite our communities, and panto does that in spades, doesn't it? Because it brings everyone together, it puts a smile on your face, and you go away feeling really connected as a family or as a group, and I think that's so important these days.
Thanks for talking to us at Winchester Radio.
Thank you.
The Wizard of Oz runs until the 2nd of January, with those watch-at-home performances Deryck mentioned on the 20th and 30th of December. See the website for more information. Time now for some shout-outs for those who've made a difference in our community. Here's Dan.
A festive lunch has been held to say Happy Christmas and a thank you to all the volunteers at Winchester Citizens Advice. Staff said it was wonderful for everyone to come together to show appreciation for all their hard work. The charity provides free impartial advice to thousands of people every year, and 80% of the team are volunteers. And the volunteers at Winchester's Gurkha Museum have been treated to a Christmas curry lunch to thank them for all their hard work to keep the museum ticking over. The museum has been based at the Peninsula Barracks since 1990, and it celebrates the history and culture of the Gurkha soldier and their continued service to Britain. And a shout out to Hampshire firefighters who have begun an epic row across the Atlantic. Stu Vince and Craig Sadler are called the Minds Matter team. They're raising awareness of mental health in the workplace and aiming to raise £50,000 for Solent Mind and the firefighters charity. They will row 3,000 miles from the Canary Islands to Antigua. And Winchester Hospice want to say a big thank you to everyone who took part in their annual Christmas quiz, with the event raising over £2,000. The much needed hospice opened last year.
Winchester Radio.
Finally today, there's been snow in the air and the sound of jingle bells as Santa Claus has come to town. Santa and his sleigh have been travelling around the city, collecting for good causes and bringing Christmas cheer. Cheers and applause as the Santa sleigh turns into Abbot Spartan, one of 16 areas around Winchester he's been visiting this year, along with Mrs. Claus, a band of elves and volunteers, bringing delight to all ages.
What do you think about seeing Santa?
It's very fun, and every time I see him, I wave. His beard is very big.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. And what's it like seeing him here?
Really cool.
I think it's really good. Yeah, I think it starts Christmas off and creates a bit of atmosphere and certainly keeps the children entertained. It gives them something to look forward to, so I think it's a very good thing they do.
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? It's magical, isn't it, Lockie? What do you think?
I think it's very cool.
Santa, what's it like being around Winchester and visiting everybody this year?
Oh, it's brilliant. Seeing all the happy, smiling faces of the children as we drive past.
How much do you think it means to people to see you?
Oh, I think it means the world. You can just see by the way that people react as soon as they see the sleigh, the smile on their face.
Bucket collectors also follow the sleigh, with the event raising money for a number of local charities and good causes. This is Tim Baker from the Round Table, which organises the Santa sleigh.
How much work does go into all of this?
Quite a lot. There's a lot more than you would think. Many things that are happening behind the scenes. Tony, who's the sleigh chairman, will have to be organising the routes, the volunteers, but it's not just tablers. We ask from a lot of people as well to come along and volunteer as part of the process.
And you've been out with the sleigh over the last week. What's it been like?
It's been really great to see the amount of people that came along. Was brilliant. I wasn't expecting that. As a father myself, to see it as well and to be part of it is brilliant. To see the kids happy and seeing everyone getting involved and all part of Christmas as well.
What do you think about seeing Santa?
It's really cool. It's really cool that they do it every year.
And raising money as well. You're helping to collect, aren't you, today?
This is the first time we've done it, but we always come out and donate some money whenever we see it come past our road because it finishes by us.
Does it make you feel like it's Christmas coming?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great, isn't it, Eleanor? Really exciting. She wondered why he was coming to our home, but we said he's coming early to see everyone.
Amazing, it's brilliant for the kids, especially with tough times at the moment. I mean, previous 2 years been in lockdown, absolutely amazing to get it all back together. And great causes for local charities, brilliant.
Oh, it's fantastic! I love it!
Well, that's it for today. I'll be back at the same time next week. Thank you for listening.